You've embraced hard work and you achieved success. When it comes to your financial future, there's no leaving it to chance, but there is a lot to consider. Estate tax, market volatility, income tax, Social Security, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm Southwest Florida's financial planner, Alfie Townsend, and protecting and growing your nest egg is my business. Coming up on today's show,
active versus passive investing, benefits of being a Florida resident, taking emotion out of investing, and much more.
Welcome to Saving the Investor with certified financial planner, investment advisor, and insurance professional Alfie Townsend, president of Advantage Retirement Group. Alfie is a published author, radio show host, speaker, and industry leader.
why do you use an annuity? A lot of people use it for the wrong thing.
He works with retirees and pre-retirees to build and protect their nest egg and offers his experience to help those concerned about financial independence in retirement. If you've got questions about retirement, Saving the Investor starts now.
Oh, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Saving the Investor. My name is Craig Wolf. It is good to have you with us today, alongside certified financial planner professional Alfie Townsend, who's been working in this industry for decades. We've got a topic we're going to start with this morning, Alfie. It's an important one, and I know you get a lot of questions about it. There are people that are active and passive. There are behaviors that are active and passive, and there are portfolios that, importantly, are active and passive. Can you define each one for us to start out?
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're asking what the difference between a passive manager and an active manager.
Correct.
And it's a big difference because a passive manager is really going to build a portfolio, and typically there's a lot of asset classes. There's, large cap, small cap, international, emerging markets, bonds. So they build this portfolio and then they just leave it. Okay, they leave it. Now they do work, once a month or so. What they do is they rebalance it. So if the equities are doing real good, they're going to sell some of them and then buy the bonds. But they really are not making any changes besides rebalancing. So you have that as a passive. In an active manager, what I like about an active manager, and I lean towards active manager, because an active manager can, like, for example, 2020 we didn't know that was coming, and we knew that the emerging markets and the internationals were not going to keep up with America. So we tilted away from them and put it more in U.S. So that's what active manager can make changes. They can put it more in asset classes. We have one that I really like, and what they do is they look at different sectors. If it's the energy sector, if it's a telecommunication sector or technology sector, financial sector, they can move it around. So they are actively looking for opportunities to get in. And that's the main difference. They're looking for opportunities that they can get into, where a passive investor, the manager, will not do that.
Now, you say you lean towards being an active manager. Is there a time for one as opposed to the other?
Well, you're either going to be in one or the other. Typically, you're either a lot of the scientists that are mathematicians. They like the passive. They like to build it and have a bunch of asset classes, and then they just leave it and rebalance. Where an active manager is going to do more research on different sectors, and you think about it, there's, in 2020, what happened there, when it started coming back, look what was doing awful. The hotels, the airlines, the travel industry, these are sectors that just took a pounding. So if you were an active manager, you would not be owning any of those, right, at that time. And you can get into them later as they start coming back up. You get in, so you can make those changes at that time as the economy starts to rebound. You would do that. So that's why I like active more than passive. And a lot of clients, they're paying us to manage their money, and they ask those questions. They ask those questions as if, hey, are you going to make changes when you see fit? and our managers do make those changes.
So you mentioned 2020 being behind us, and good riddance to 2020 on that topic. So the type of year that it was with so much volatility was, again, a good example of why an active manager is something that you lean towards.
Absolutely, and it proved this year, last year, and the year before, that they, and you can't just base it on just a couple years in a row, 3 years in a row, because sometimes a passive will outperform an active, but it's just a matter of choice, really.
Yeah, and it's a good time, speaking of active versus passive, to mention that you are active in general in this industry in Southwest Florida. You're here full time, and I know not every financial planner professional is here 12 months out of the year.
Typically, they're not. A lot of times they come down with the snowbirds and leave with the snowbirds. Right. But no, we are here full time, and we love it.
It's a busy office here. I'm here a lot of people in and out. Thank you for joining us this morning on Saving the Investor. We're just getting started. There's more to come.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
Are you interested in creating your dream retirement? Well, I have just the book for you. Unlike most books on investing, it doesn't require a large investment of your time. It's an easy read filled with valuable insights. So valuable, in fact, that everyone who's soon to be retired or already retired should have a copy in hand. And today, it can be yours for absolutely no cost. It's Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway, written by Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional, radio show host, and TV personality. Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway highlights real stories about actual people, illustrating what they've done wrong and what they've done right. The strategies in this book can help you make the right decisions and avoid costly mistakes. If you've saved for retirement, Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway is a book you'll want to have. And you can receive your complimentary copy today, simply by being one of the first 5 callers. Our number is 239-747-1080. That's 239-747-1080. So if you're interested in living your dream retirement, you have nothing to lose and quite possibly have a lot to gain. Call 239-747-1080. Your complimentary copy of Keeping You on the Retirement Fairway is waiting for you.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your second cup of coffee this morning. I know I did. But I want to talk a little bit today about emotion. We had a couple that came into our office not too long ago, and the first thing they told me is they watch 14 hours a day. That's a day of the news, 14 hours a day. And they told me at that time, they said, we're not really making good decisions with our money. So they already knew what was going on because the news was bringing their emotions out. And if you think about it, there's so much right now to take, really with emotion. You have the 24-hour news channel, and they were watching 14 of it. You also have the internet, your phone gets beeped anytime there's a alert that comes on. So what I wanted to do with this couple was, okay, tell me what type of decisions you have been making. And sure enough, what they were doing, they were selling when the market, they had some bad news that day, and they had it for 2 days, 3 days, they would sell. And I said, well, how's that doing? And they said, it's not doing too well. That's why we're here to see you. So the most important thing when it comes to investing, and when you hire someone like me, it's my job is to take the emotion out of investing for you. It is so important to have a solid plan. If you have a solid retirement plan, I'm talking about looking at the whole plan. When you look at the whole plan, the retirement, the income, the investing, when you have all that put together, when the markets do act up, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We have to look at the long haul, not the short term. And that's what really investing in the market is all about. And as long as people are out there, you're going to be buying goods and services. The markets are going to do just fine in the long run. But the main thing is take the emotion out of investing. And that's what we do here for our clients at the Advanced Retirement Group.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
When you're nearing retirement, it's important that your plan includes the proper steps to make an efficient and effective transition. There's a lot to consider. Will your income plan meet your lifestyle? How should you reallocate your assets? Is your withdrawal plan tax efficient? Practice does make perfect, but you only retire once. So how do you know you're making the right decisions and avoiding costly mistakes? Well, it's simple. Call Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. Alfie has more than 30 years of experience helping people just like you transition into retirement. So be one of the first 5 callers and get your complimentary retirement transition review. Call 239-747-1080. There is no cost and no strings attached. So call now, 239-747-1080. Your retirement transition review includes key deadline schedules, asset reallocation guidance, income plan analysis, and tax-efficient withdrawal strategies. Again, be one of the first 5 callers now, and this review is yours at no cost. Call 239-747-1080. You only retire once, so let's get this right. Call Alfie now.
Thank you for joining us for another segment of Team Talk. I'm Mary Thompson in studio with Alfie Townsend, our founder and president. Alfie, when people come into our office for the first time, I think it'd be good for us to share what that experience is like so they kind of get a feel for it.
So when people come in for the first time, Mary, what we're going to do is we're going to go in the conference room. Dave is going to be there, and he takes all the notes. David Antonucci, he is an advisor here at the Advanced Retirement Group, but he takes all the notes, and he does our planning with me. So he wants to document the notes so I can just really concentrate on the clients. So I don't really write anything. I'm just concentrating on the client. So when I'm asking them questions, I'm listening to what they're telling me. Mm-hmm. Because the first appointment is all about them. It's about their goals. What brought you here? Why are you here? So I want to listen to that. I want to find out where they worked, how long they've been married. Do they have kids? These are all things that we're going to find out. Is legacy important to you? Do you have a financial advisor? Are you happy with your advisor? These are all things that we're going to ask them, and we're going to find out what their income is. Of course, we're going to find out what their investments are, because on that second appointment, we're going to dissect what we found out for them and put a plan together for them, and they're going to see what's going on inside their portfolio, and they're going to see the plan that we put together. They're going to see the income plan, the taxes, Roth conversions, if we're talking about that. So at the second appointment is important also. But that first appointment I really like because it's really to get to know you. And so there's a lot of questions that goes on that first appointment. And of course, the first appointment is going to see if they like us as their advisor. Because if you don't like your advisor, you shouldn't be doing business with them. You really shouldn't. You have to trust your advisor. You have to like your advisor, and you have to make sure that you guys are on the same page. So a lot goes on in that first appointment.
One of the things you talk about in that first appointment that I find to be unique compared to other places that I've been familiar with, of course, is you spend time talking to them about their values. And I think values are what drives our decisions in life. So you spend a little bit of time on that, don't you? Yeah,
we have a chart that goes up on our big smart screen TV, smart board, and it has value words like security, it could be abundance of travel, generosity, faith. There's just a peace of mind. These are value words, they look at, and I say, give me 3 of those words that are up there, and then they'll give me the 3. So I know about them, and I have each of them do it separate. Right. Because their value words might be different than they will most likely. Right. But a lot of times it's security. It's security. They want to make sure that they have enough to get them through retirement. So
and you spend a lot of time talking about income planning as well, which I think is also unique to you. I think that's really your sweet spot, helping people get to and through retirement in income.
Well, income area is so hard right now because interest rates are so low. We're in the lowest interest rate environment out there right now. So you can't just take interest on your money and live anymore like you used to. Interest rates could pay 4, 5, 6%. Right now, it's not paying anything. So you have to create income differently. There's a lot of people, Mary, I would say this, There's a lot of people in the market right now that probably should not be in the market, but they're forced to be in there. They're forced to be in there because there's no alternatives for them. So we want to show them different, ways to be in the market, reduce risk, and also some ways if you're not that market person, we can show you that also.
Thank you, Alfie.
Oh, you're welcome.
If you'd like to make sure your financial affairs are in order, give us a call.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters.
Remember the Wall Street bailouts? Those same big banks and financial firms have been fined billions for misleading customers. And now they want to manage your retirement savings. Why would you trust them? I'm Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner professional. My values are Main Street, not Wall Street. As an independent advisor, I don't work for shareholders, I work for you. If you want a fresh start with a local advisor, give me a call today.
We all have a picture of our perfect retirement, but how do we get there? At Advantage Retirement Group, helping you get there is our business. We're passionate about getting to know you, learning your hopes and dreams. Why? So we can work with you to achieve them. How? By maximizing the money you've saved, minimizing the dollars you pay in taxes and the risk you are exposed to, and creating a retirement income plan that ensures your savings lasts a lifetime. We're thankful to work with so many wonderful people, and we'd love to work with you too. Call Advantage Retirement Group today for your no-cost, no-obligation evaluation. 239-747-1080. Your retirement is too important to put off. Call now, 239-747-1080. You've got questions, and Alfie has the answers that will keep you on the retirement fairway. How is the new administration going to affect my portfolio? And should I make adjustments to my retirement plan?
So some of the changes that I'm hearing that we're going to be seeing with portfolios, we're going to seeing less energy stocks you're going to want to own. You're going to want to own more tech stocks. That's just for the portfolio aspect. But what I see the biggest change is probably going to be income taxes. Taxes are, they've been historically low. President Trump lowered those taxes, and it looks like they're going to be fighting for increased income taxes. So if they're increasing the income taxes, we need to do things about maybe Roth conversions or just something to protect that income in the future, because taxes most likely will be the biggest change with the Biden administration.
Is there a way to minimize the tax hit with my family inheritance?
So we have IRAs. One of the big tax changes of 2020 with IRAs is they got rid of the stretch IRA. That means that when your kids inherit that IRA, they used to be able to stretch it out based on their age. It could be 20 or 30 or 40 years. Right now, it's going to be a lump sum or 5 years. You have to take it by 5 years. So some planning needs to be done, because your IRA is really your biggest asset that a lot of people have. So what we want to do to lower that tax is maybe try to do some Roth conversions. Taxes are low right now. A Roth conversion would be a good option if you're not needing the income. If you're needing the required minimum distributions, we don't want to look at a Roth conversion. We might want to look at other means to get that tax-free to your heirs. But there are things you can do, but you have to do some planning now instead of wait.
I'm remarried, and I want to make sure my spouse is taken care of, but I also want to make sure my kids and grandkids are too. How should I do that?
Here in Southwest Florida, I see it all the time. People are getting married, they lost a spouse, and they don't want to be alone. They're going to get a second marriage and maybe even a third marriage. But when that happens, you also have your children from one marriage, and you want to make sure that your children are taken care of. You want to make sure your spouse is taken care of. So how do you do that? The best way are beneficiary, or we can really, I think the best way would be a trust. And you need a trust that will be an irrevocable trust. I'm not an attorney. We do have an attorney that we partner with here at the Advantage Retirement Group. But what's going to happen is they're going to put something together for you that will make sure that your spouse is taken care of if something happens to you. but your children, the bloodline will go to your children. So this is something that really takes a lot of planning and talking. If you need to have that conversation, we'd love to have that with you.
You are watching Saving the Investor, where your money matters. Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now.
Benjamin Franklin said, "In this world, nothing can be certain except death and taxes." You know, we may not be able to control many things in life, but there are steps that you can legally take to control how much you actually pay in taxes. So really, ask yourself, how much of my 401k or IRA is actually mine? How much will end up in my pocket? Is my tax plan efficient? Am I overpaying or keeping every dollar that I'm entitled to? Sound familiar? Well, Alfie is here to help. He's put together a report to help make sense of taxes and how they can impact your retirement. You can get this report right now, and it's complimentary. All you need to do is call 239-747-1080. It's your money, and you deserve to know what's at stake. So get your complimentary tax report right now. Call 239-747-1080. That's 239-747-1080.
You have a club for every scenario. A driver for the long holes, wedges to get over the hazards, and a putter when you need a touch of finesse. And you'll need plenty of these too. What about your retirement? Will you have enough to play the back nine? Find out today. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review with Alfie Townsend, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Call 239-747-1080.
Welcome back to Saving the Investor. And this is going to be a great topic. We have Greg Nussbickle here. He's an attorney here in Southwest Florida. And we're going to talk about what are some of the pitfalls or what you should consider when you're not a Florida resident, but you're wanting to become a Florida resident. So a lot of people, there's snowbirds here, and I have a lot of clients that were clients, they were snowbirds, and now all of a sudden they're residents because they did make that move. But what are some of the pitfalls or some of the advantages of becoming a Florida resident here?
Well, a lot of advantages to being a Floridian, the weather and the lifestyle.
I love it, paradise.
From a legal standpoint, we have really favorable tax laws. So most of your viewers will understand that we don't have a income tax, and we also don't have a state level inheritance tax. So it's usually a good thing to be considered a Floridian, especially if you're coming from a northeastern state where they like to tax you a lot. But getting there isn't as simple sometimes as clients might think.
Well, a lot of times people think, well, you just have to change your address on your credit card and be here 6 months and 1 day. Is that a little bit more to that, right?
A little bit more to it because you're always dealing with two sets of laws. So Florida law is going to determine a set of factors, and maybe New Jersey might have a different set of factors when trying to find out if you're a resident of that state. So you can literally be a resident of both states for tax purposes. So Florida's not going to be your problem, but we want to look at that state you're coming from to see if you're checking all the boxes that they have.
And that homestead exemption, explain that a little bit.
So homestead is a really big part of it.
Yeah.
If you own your residence and it's your one and only primary home in Florida, then you can go to the county and let them know that, and you get a tax break, and that's also one of the factors that would be looked at. You also want to have your driver license and your voter ID and even your car registration, and you want your estate planning documents all done in Florida as much as possible.
That shows that you're really a resident here.
Yeah.
Even though you're going back up north.
Exactly, yeah. And ideally
5 months or whatever.
Yeah, ideally you wouldn't want to be in any other state for the majority of the time. You want to be in Florida most of the year if possible, and you want to be able to document that as well, because some states like New Jersey will tax you as a New Jersey resident if you spend the majority of your time there, regardless of all those other factors.
So what happens if income? Okay, so if you're getting a pension, like some of these states, I know if you're earning income, you can't, I believe it's Maryland is one of the states where if you're earning your income, they're going to tax your income still there if you're even a resident here because your income came from Maryland.
Yeah, that's pretty common. If the income's actually happening there, you've got rental income or something that's physically taking place in that state, they're still going to get you for that. The key from our standpoint is to try to not have your entire estate be taxed by another state just because you might visit there fairly often. So
but that's if you're working, though, that income. Now, if you have a pension and you make if you make the change, then it's typically you're not going to be paying state income tax on that income.
You should be fine then, yeah.
Should be fine. So it's more income if you're living there and trying to commute back and forth. Especially, with in 2020, one thing we learned in 2020 is that a lot of people are working out of their homes, so they can work anywhere now. And a lot of these big states are losing, people left and right because they said, you know what, I can do my job in sunny Florida. Why do I need to be here where they don't have anything open or whatever, or whatever, high taxes or whatever it might be?
Yeah, and the more that happens, the more restrictive these states seem to get because they're trying to get their last dip into that tax.
They don't want to let it go.
Like a bad breakup.
I hear you. Well, listen, thanks for sharing that.
My pleasure.
So if you want to, or if you're thinking about becoming a Florida resident, give us a call and Greg can talk to you and find out if it's, a right move for you.
Ready to live your retirement dreams? Then it's time to meet Alfie, Southwest Florida's certified financial planner. Schedule your complimentary retirement income plan review now. Give Alfie a call, 239-747-1080.
Retirement gives you long-awaited opportunities. You finally gain control over how you spend your time. But you also need control of your investments, of your hard-earned money. There are a lot of moving parts, and just saving over the years is the first part. What about generating income, your Social Security, minimizing taxes, or managing risk? If you save for retirement, call us at 239-747-1080. Retirement can last more than 20 years, yet many people don't have enough money saved to get through 1 decade, let alone 2. Call us at 239-747-1080. Let us show you how to make your nest egg go the distance. That's 239-747-1080.
Mondo Uomo specializes in remarkable clothing for the remarkable man, like our exclusive selection of Bugatti and St. Croix shirts and sweaters. Visit our store in Naples at the Village on Venetian Bay or online at mondouomo.com. Mondo Uomo offers a remarkable selection of the latest styles in menswear. Visit Mondo Uomo at the Village on Venetian Bay in Naples. Alberto, Bugatti, St. Croix, Zanella. Come see what remarkable shopping is all about.